and I suppose I wanted to post it as well, just so I suppose I could feel less alone, others could feel less alone if they're also going through the same thing, and it could just benefit everyone on the whole. But it's really just about, feeling lonely. And I've locked myself away from people for a very long time because I've been working on my coaching business, or pretending to work on it, more like. Most of the work in hindsight that I was doing was just kind of fueled by my ego. I was just like, oh, I'm working so hard, and I really wasn't. And I finally picked up my first paying client after about 2 years. I had like free clients, but there wasn't really an actual program. There wasn't really anything that made it valuable. And now I've got an actual program, and after getting my client who paid me, a good amount of money, I have to deliver. And so I've been doing that, and so I've been locked away for about 2 weeks now. And right now, where I'm at, it's spring break, and I was able, but I didn't allow myself to leave my hometown, to enjoy it, to go out with friends and do something. And over the past couple of years of working on this business, of being an online student so I could dedicate more time to just working and learning and reading, I've completely lost myself in the process and lost social interaction in general. I have a couple good friends, and they're great, but I don't even remember the last time I dated a girl, just because I've been in such an ego-fueled mess of just thinking that I was too good for them. And you can think you're too good for people all you want, but at the end of the day, when you're alone, you kind of realize that you're playing and losing. You're playing a losing game, And I went to a basketball game, and I have no one in my town. I mean, most people that are students, I live in a college town, and most people that are students, they go away, but no one hitting my line. I don't have social media because I've dedicated so much time to learning and not being distracted by that stuff. And I don't have, all of my other friends are out of town. None of them really like basketball. And so I go with my grandparents, which I love, but it stings, You see girls there that are pretty, and you're like, you want to say something, and then you just don't. You feel like a fraud, It's like, even if I was to go up to this girl and pretend to be somebody I'm not, eventually the person that I really am would slip through the cracks, and they wouldn't like it. And you leave. I left that basketball game. There was a girl who was hobbling down the stairs on crutches, who I could have offered help to, but I didn't want to, because I was like, well, she's gonna think I'm weird, she's gonna think I'm creepy, she's not gonna appreciate it. Maybe she's under 18 and people are gonna see me and I'm gonna be a weirdo, and it's just all these excuses that keep me from, I guess, even interacting with women in general. And if you saw my video a while back, I made a video about how this woman I was talking to wasn't respecting me because she was play fighting with one of her boy best friends in front of me, and ultimately all she was doing was having fun with one of her friends. But I kind of allowed my ego, like I said, to get in front of it and be like, oh, fuck that bitch, get money, I'm way more valuable than she even knows. And it's like, no, dude, you're not. And through this constant working, you look back upon it and you don't have anything to show for it. And it feels like you've just been running in circles, isolating yourself with no social skills for the point of it being itself, And I think self-improvement for a lot of people, it serves kind of as this like a coping mechanism for dudes who are depressed. And it kind of just makes everything worse because it's like, yeah, you're not talking to anyone, you're not having fun, you're not going out on the weekends, you're running by yourself like David Goggins, but it's like, oh, great. Even David Goggins had his wife to film him. You're just alone, You're just basically self-harming yourself, although it is going to make you healthier for the sake of itself, And you go out and you see all these people with groups of friends, and it's like, I used to be like that, I used to be in a huge group of friends, and I dated two of the girls that were in the group, and then it all kind of went to shit, and I kind of fucked things up, I got with two different girls in the same friend group, like an asshole, like drunkenly, and you look back and you still see these people, but you still always feel like a fraud, You want to hit these people up and text them, because you guys used to be friends, but you think, well, they've probably seen these videos I've been posting online where I just act like I'm something that I'm not, and they know that I'm a fraud, and they judge me, and they don't even want to talk to me. And then you stop reaching out to people, and eventually those people stop reaching out to you, You go dark, and then no one ever hits you up. And it's just like, it's this perpetuating sort of cycle where you're just like, oh, your fears are kind of confirmed. It's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. And it does help to get in shape, It does help to, there's people at the gym who I know, but nothing ever goes anywhere, And I've got good friends too, but I've really just been feeling like lonely as of late, You go out in public and you think about this girl that you want to talk to, and it's just like, you make all these excuses, And it's not that a woman's going to bring you happiness, It's going to supplement it. But, when you haven't, I don't even know, received a hug, Like that video of that black dude was like, sometimes all a fool needs is a hug. It's like, damn, I feel like that, bro. I remember I spent some time studying abroad in London, and I was pretty much isolated there too, because, even the people, they were wanting to go out and drink, and I'm just like, I gotta work towards, because I was running a lawn business at that time, all the way in America while I was in London, and I'm like, well, I've got clients I gotta take care of, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, and I didn't really allow myself to hang out, I remember I stayed out one night till 4 a.m. trying to drunkenly chase some pussy, and nothing ever came of it, and I almost got lost in the middle of London with my phone dead, drunk, which is not smart. And I remember talking to an Uber driver, and I told him that I wanted to buy my mom a house, and he said, yeah, that's a really good, son that you are for wanting to do that, and that was one of the last times I ever drank. And so, it's just like I have these people that I want to take care of, but even then, it's like I sacrifice, the wrong things, and that wasn't even where I was going with that. But when I was in London, there's this homeless lady who approached me, and she wanted money. She's like, I can't feed my kids and stuff like that. And I gave her money. Fuck. There go my phone. No, but I gave her money And then she came back again for more money, and I'm just like, God, fuck off. Like, at this point, I'm like giving people the look like, Jesus, like, give me help. And this homeless lady, and like I said, up to this point, I still hadn't, I'd been pretty much like touch-starved. I've been touch-starved for like a while now. And like this homeless lady hugged me because I like gave her the rest of the money that was in my wallet. And then she like fucking like sucked on my neck. Like while I was hugging her. And like up until that point, like I literally hadn't hugged someone or really even had anything like that up until that point. For at least, for a while. Because I was in London. I didn't know anyone. I was in a foreign country. And I don't know. That fucked me up for a while. And then, the next time I drank, like, I just slept with this girl. And I just got, like, treated like a piece of meat, basically, It wasn't even like, like I want to fuck you because of who you are. It was just like, oh, you're hot, you have muscles. And it was just like, which sounds like the dream to someone who's not in shape, but it's just like, that shit didn't end up turning out. And I remember I was geeking off an edible, and like I remember I called up like the 3 people who I guess I valued the most at that time. And one of them was this girl who I suppose I thought I meant something to, and well, I don't know. She said she was hanging out with her brothers and they weren't letting her go, but I just kind of realized like all these people that I had been showing so much care to, they just weren't able to be there for me, And granted, I put myself in that situation, but and this girl I dated when I was like 16, it was a terrible relationship. I was young and I did some pretty uncool stuff in that relationship, but I was always worried she was going to find someone else. And then, like, not even a week later after we split, because I was sick of the pain, she was with someone else, which is like, you can do that. Like, and it's not up to me to think I have ownership of any woman, but I just feel like I've had so many moments in my life where I suppose, like, you put all this care and trust into someone, whether it be my dad or like my ex-girlfriends or even my friends, and when it comes down to it, they're not there, and with that girl that I dated, like, I wasn't over her for so long, but after a week, when she found her new boyfriend, I had to walk past her every day in the hallway of her, like, with her new boyfriend, while she acted like I didn't exist. And that fucked me up for a while, And I sound like a bitch, like, I sound like in this video I'm just talking about being a victim, like I did pretty uncool stuff to her, like, reflecting back upon it, I was definitely too insecure, stuff like that. And I don't want you guys to get the message that like, I think I'm a victim. But I'm genuinely just kind of pouring my heart out, Like, it's hard. It's hard to learn to, like, trust again after something like that, It's hard to learn to trust homeless people after they fucking sexually assault you. It's hard to to trust, it's hard to trust when it just seems like, and obviously the negatives are going to stand out more than the positives will, There's a lot of people in my life who I can trust, and I do have a good set of friends, but it doesn't take away from the fact that at the end of the day, you still feel fucking alone, And I don't know if it's social media or what, but, it feels like no one wants to be in the company of other people anymore. And I don't know, I'm like that too. I build programs pretty much every day, and I'm building my, little habit trackers and stuff for my clients to make sure that they stay on track with their fitness and their mindset and stuff like that. But it's you get this imposter syndrome, it's who am I to think I'm so special as to be able to help someone else with their fitness and mindset, even if I had the certifications. I'm 7/8 through my personal training certification. On the last chapter, I just haven't fully committed to finishing it, I guess. But it's I know this stuff. I've read a lot of books, and I've done it myself. But even then, you still feel like you're just not doing good enough, And I don't know. I remember I went on Tinder, God forbid, and it was there was this girl in her bio was I think it was Hinge. It was something that makes me laugh is the male loneliness epidemic. It's just Jesus, man. Something like that really stands out. And I think it's because I think women on the internet especially are told that men are scary rapists, and then men on the internet are told that no woman's ever going to love them unless they have $1 billion. And both of it's completely false. And both of it ties into the insecurities that both sex has, But I don't know, It's should I go after a woman because I feel lonely? You need to love yourself before you love someone else. Dude, I've given myself a lot of self-love, I meditate each day. I eat a very healthy diet. I go to the gym. I work on my business. I'm good with money. I like to say that I know a lot. Sometimes it's do I keep waiting for the self-love to come? Or do I just drive over the bumps, you know what I'm saying? And just go for it. But yeah, you go on Tinder and you get no swipes, You go on the internet and it's every person, every kid making $1 billion, $1 kajillion who probably just fucking lied and scammed to get there. You can make money legitly, and there are people who I believe truly have done that are young, but I had a mentor. He just made you feel like a wimp for not having $1 million at a young age, and then sold you a very subpar program that basically just told you to not be a bitch, and then you paid and you're fucked, It's just wow, I don't know. It's what are you waiting for, As a question that I always want to ask myself. There's always this perception of the promised land, It's oh, if I can just do this, then I'll have this. If I can just do this, then I'll be happy. If I can just have this, I'll be happy. And it's no. It's you're happy in the moment. And I feel like I'm happy in the moment, But, I live with my grandparents, and they even talk to me, and they're my grandpa's you gotta find a girlfriend. It's dude, I don't even know what the fuck to do, my dad isn't very present in my life, and it's not he was a fucking stud with women either, It's you just gotta be yourself. It's dude, what if yourself is fucking insecure and it sucks, What if you feel like every woman you get around, you fuck their life up? Or you're scared you're gonna fuck their life up? Or they tell you that you fucked their life up? It's like, what do you do at that point? Do you just fade into the abyss of life? Do you just end your bloodline there because you're shitty, you know? I don't even feel like I know how to care for someone else. I don't even know if I know how to fucking care about myself. You know, my way of care is helping people get in shape, you know? Helping people meditate, be mindful, be aware of the fact that their own brain is kind of playing tricks on them, you know? But it's like, how does that equate to something in a relationship, you know? I don't even know. There's a cop right there, and I have a light pointing at my face. It'd be funny if I got pulled over. Bro's gonna come to the window. I'm gonna be crying because I'm lonely. Oh damn! I didn't know you were a bitch. I'm sorry. Go right ahead. Go right ahead, sir. No. But yeah, you know, it's tough. It's like, I just never feel like I can be myself, and I guess these videos kind of help with it, because I'd like to say that I'm kind of being myself. You know, I don't like to post videos when I feel like I'm being egotistical and I'm acting like I'm better than I really am, you know? But sometimes it's like, damn, dude, I've been making like all these sacrifices, and it feels like nothing's come of it, you know? It feels like the Cain and Abel story from like the Bible, you know? Like, he sacrificed all this stuff, and then he was mad at God for not giving it to him, even though he was just sacrificing the wrong things, you know? It's like, I've given up partying, I've given up some years of my youth, you know? Given up smoking weed with the boys, given up hanging out on spring break for the hope of, you know, feeling like I have a larger purpose, which is to, you know, help people truly believe in themselves and believe that they're not stuck where they're at. And then I come back to moments where I feel like I'm in the same place that these people are at. And in building programs that do this for other people, I'm learning how to show myself and break my own boundaries. The work is essentially working on me more than I'm working on it, which is kind of cool. But I don't know. Like, I wish there was a solution to this, you know? The grass is always greener on the other side, you know? The guy who gets no bitches wants to have bitches, you know? The guy who gets bitches wants a connection with the bitches. The guy who has a connection with the bitches wants to fuck more bitches. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's kind of like that J. Cole song, Love Yours. It's like, always gonna be some bitch that's badder out there on the tours, but you ain't never gonna be happy till you love yours. And it's like facts, you know? Like, I do love the life that I have, but sometimes it just feels like I'm being punished. And it's just like, you want to be like, what lesson am I being taught here? But you fear that there's the possibility that there is no lesson being taught. You know? You're just suffering for the sake of suffering. And all along, you could have just been pursuing hedonism, you know? Pleasure for the pursuit of pleasure. Just constantly fucking screwing random women, drinking every weekend, smoking weed every day, vaping, fucking jerking off to porn 24/7. And it's like, I know consciously that all of that leads to nothing. Like, the thing about hedonism is always pursuing pleasure leads to the point where you can't even feel pleasure, and you just need to do that stuff to feel normal, and you're still ultimately not satisfied. But, you know, when the road that you want to drive down is so opaque, and you still continue to drive, and you continue to speed up, and just have faith that something good will happen from it. Sometimes you feel like you're going in the wrong direction. Sometimes you feel like you don't know where the fuck you're going, you know? Like, I'm in college and I don't even want to be. I'm making these videos and I don't even know if it'll lead to something, you know? And I guess that's fine, you know? Building a business, and I don't even know if the people that I want to help believe in themselves will even see the value in me. You know? I could fucking get hit by a car and die tomorrow. And it'd be like, you know, well, I'm glad that I tried to help people while I was on Earth. But damn, I probably should have just relaxed and enjoyed my time a little bit more, rather than constantly waiting for a future that's, you know, will ultimately, you know, never come. If you get what I'm saying. Because it's like, I have these big goals, these big aspirations, and I have faith that they will happen. But kind of like, again, like Love Yours again says, it's like, the good thing is you've come a long way. The bad thing is you went the wrong way. It's just like, damn, you know. And now, like, that woman who I completely blocked and treated like shit, and even shit talked on a video, like, I don't even feel like, you know, I want to connect with her now. And I'm like, wow, that was such a prideful, fucking arrogant, insecure, trauma-ridden response to that situation. And now I don't even know if she would even be willing to hear me out, you know? And, you know, she's going through her own stuff too, which is like, I respect that. But it's scary, you know? Like, in the olden days, like, there was no, like, Tinder, you know? There was no social media where your brain could kind of feel like there was constantly all these women around, you know? Sometimes you gotta realize it's like, bro, like, this might be the only chance you get, you know? This girl might have been your wife and you completely fucked it up, you know? I was like, that's a horrible thought to have, granted, you know? But it's like, fuck, dude. It's like, I can't believe I because someone made me feel inferior or bad because of something that was ultimately my own feelings, I could have completely, like, fucked my own shit up, you know? I could have ended something, you know, that really, truly could have been great. But you self-sabotage, you know? I don't know. I don't even know if this is getting across to you boys, but yeah. I feel like this sort of loneliness epidemic, I don't think it's funny. You know? Like that girl who said it on her Tinder profile or her Hinge profile. You know? It's like, men should know that they're fucking horrible people. You know? Like, I feel like that's a lot of shit that gets pushed on, like, women's social media pages. And it's just like, bro, we are flawed individuals just like anyone else, you know? And I think there's something to be said about the differences between the sexes, where it's just like, I think women genuinely do have more empathy. You know? They're more nurturing. They take care of children more than the men do, and they always have done that, you know? So it's just like, you feel like you're stumbling through this world that just tells you to be a man and never really conceptualizing what that even means, you know? And then as a child who doesn't really have much of a father figure, you feel that you hear these masculine roles that tell you to treat women like shit. And that you are not worthy unless you have $1 million kajillion dollars. And you're fighting against this battle that like isn't even real, you know? It's like, it's good to support, like you know, I want to live a pretty fruitful life, you know? Just enough money to have freedom, you know what I'm saying? But like, you know, they say the love of money is the root of all evil. And I think that's something I truly have had to realize, and I constantly have to remind myself, is that, you know, money is not everything, you know? If you provide a value to people, or if you provide value to people, you will get money, you know? But chasing money for the sake of money and then using people as a means to an end is a fucking horrible thing. And it's something that I almost feel like I need to remember it so frequently I might get a tattoo of something that reminds me to not chase money and instead to chase, you know, humanity and chase actually helping people. Because it's so easy to get into this mindset where you're just like, oh my god, I need to have $1 billion kajillion dollars. Especially if you go on social media. Like, it's gotten a lot better since I stopped following like those certain creators who have Lamborghini STOs and buzzed heads, who also happen to be a mentor that kind of took your money and ran. But it's, you know, gotta remind yourself, it's like, bro, it's, you know, a lot of the stuff the Bible preaches is some heat, you know, this stuff about pride, this stuff about, you know, the love of money being the root of all evil, stuff like that. It's like, that stuff will truly make your life worse. And pride especially blinds you from seeing the things that are obvious. And for the longest time, I was completely just prideful, just completely so sure of this value that other people should just see in me, you know? Like, I'm so fucking special. Not realizing, like, dude, you're not, you know? Pride is like essentially seeing yourself as better than other people. You know, like God somehow made you special. And it's blinding. It blinds you to the reality of the fact that the past 2 years you've just been hurting people's feelings. And you haven't even provided actual value, you know? And since getting like my client, I'm like, holy shit, like, I swear to God I saw something in the road. I'm fucking hallucinating. Jesus Christ. But it was like, I was like, holy shit, like I didn't even know how little I was actually working hard, and it humbled me. I was like, dude, I genuinely was bullshitting myself for a while about my value to myself, you know? And it blinds you. It's like, you expect these people to just send you money to help them, even though, like, you didn't do shit, you know? But yeah, I don't know, fellas. I digress. I do think I'm gonna get probably a new place to live, you know? Because like I said, through pursuing the growth of this business that I run, like, I've completely neglected relationships and meeting people, you know, despite being in college. And there certainly aren't many other people who are in the same realm as me where I currently live, you know? although I love my friends. You know, you got those people that keep you grounded, you know, and I think that's something that I really had to come to terms with, you know. I spent some time in Austin, Texas. Like, I traveled there thinking that my life would change in a week, and it's just like I didn't realize it was just like, oh, like I genuinely kind of need people, you know. It's like you gotta love yours, love the life that you have, and it's something I'm working on. But it does get lonely sometimes, and sometimes you just want someone who has your back, you know, someone who can be there more than even a friend, you know. But it's hard when you feel like that person is someone who you'll just hurt without even knowing it, just because you've caused a lot of pain to other people in the past. I wish I had the solution for y'all, you know, to be like, oh man, well the key is you gotta sex traffic 12 women and put yourself into shitloads of credit card debt for a down payment on a Lamborghini with an extremely high fucking interest rate, and then post yourself like you're rich on Instagram, and then just sell people courses, and then you'll be happy, and then you won't be lonely anymore. I wish there was a key to that, you know. But I think from what I've learned is a lot of the key to loneliness is just slowing down and quit letting your pride get in the way, you know. I really hope this stuff with this girl like works out, you know. And the only reason it would have worked out is because I humbled myself and was like, you know, I said in my last video, like, you're not a finished product, you know. No matter how much work you put in, like, you are flawed, you make mistakes, and the second you stop realizing that is the second that sort of the Jenga tower comes falling down, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, boys, hope you derive some value from this. I'd love for y'all to leave a comment, and yeah, check out my Instagram if you want. I don't really care, but that's a bit more in depth of the stuff that I do. If you want to get more of an idea of, I'm gonna put my sunglasses away. I have not had these sunglasses in here in so long. The Ross Ray-Bans, bro. Ross kind of fucks, I'm not gonna lie. So does this Mentos gum. I like the green better, though. Alright, I'm gonna put my mic away. Good night, y'all. I need to go to bed.